Welcome to our posts. Today, we will see stories of r/entitled parents. I finally told off my new neighbor. We're an older gay couple, late 40s. We made the mistake of introducing ourselves to our new neighbor. She's young, like 24-25, with a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old. We figured that we'd be friendly. What could go wrong? I helped her unlock her bathroom door each time her youngest locked herself in it, eventually just removing the knob. I loaned out my nice horsehair paintbrush for her to paint her door. She didn't clean it properly and ruined it, no apology. I tolerated her using my lawn to set up her kiddie pool. Her whole yard is slanted, so we allowed it, not forgetting how our strawberry patch was trampled somehow, as well as berated me for having a pack of smokes in my shirt pocket, snatching them out of my shirt and telling me to put them in my pants. That truly pissed me off. I told her to never do that again, and we didn't speak for a week. Tonight, she asked us to babysit till dawn, and I told her no. We are not watching her kids overnight. I'm drawing the line there. I honestly don't care if we are ruining her night. It's not our problem that you don't have a babysitter. Neither of us are comfy with being left in charge of small kids. We don't need the stress or liability. Plus, I don't want to set a precedent where she thinks it's okay to just drop her kids off for free babysitting. She can find a babysitter or stay home tonight. That's her issue, not ours. She can either stay mad at us or realize that we have limits to what we are willing to do. Next story. No, you can't has cheeseburger. My friend and I grabbed Burger King before jumping on a plain lame, nothing but coffee service. We ate it all but a few fries. A little girl was running up and down the aisle and came up to us. My mom said I can have my Burger King now. Yes, she 200% meant our BK, which was now nothing but cold reject fries. My friend, being more child-friendly than me, offered her the lonely fries. No, I want a cheeseburger. Nope, sorry, none left. She yells, "Mom, they won't give me any." Kid ran away, and we didn't see her again for the rest of the flight. As we were getting off the plane, the mom says to us, "You could have shared with a kid, you selfish bad girls." No, I don't think we could, even if I had wanted to, or had any left, which I didn't. Did I miss the memo where we are obligated to buy an extra burger or two for random kids on planes? Edit. I don't know for sure what the mom told her kid. She was several rows behind us and we wanted to sleep. I'm not sure if the mom told kiddo to get the food from us, or if kiddo demanded it and mom just didn't discourage. Many things could have been said between them after kiddo rejected our cold fries and the time mom decided we were evil incarnate. Not sure if the kid lied, told her mom we offered it to her, or mom encouraged her to scam a burger from us and to leave her alone. Next story. Been saying to my parents for years that my sister is very entitled, and they've ignored it until now. 17F. My sister 15F has always been selfish. Ever since she was a child. She would never share, never do anything for anyone else, but would expect everyone to do everything for her. Obviously, as a small child, that's understandable, but she's never grown out of it. My parents have always dismissed this as just her personality. My sister has always been rude to me specifically. She demands I do things for her. She demands I make her food. She demands I pay for her things. She demands I do this, that, and the other. But if I ask the same, she shouts at me. I don't remember the last time she's done anything for anyone out of the kindness of her heart. She just shouts. There's been times I've been violently ill and bedridden due to a chronic illness, and I asked her if she could get me water, and she shouted at me, even though I make her food and drink multiple times a day, because if I don't, she just won't eat. She's also rude about everything. Anytime someone talks to her, she has a tone or shouts. She's so difficult to have a conversation with. I say nice things and she's just rude to me, and screams and is awful. And my parents say nothing, but if I dare talk half as bad as she does, I get told off. I've mentioned countless times the favoritism and how they see her as a perfect little angel, and they coddle her and rarely tell her off, and has never ever given her discipline, yet they have always to me. And they've acted like I was crazy. She's so manipulative. She always plays the victim and turns my parents against me when she is in the wrong. I told my parents that one day people are going to have enough of her in the real world and I'm going to have to cut contact if her behavior continues, and again they didn't want to listen. And just thought it's because of sisterly love, and it's normal sister behavior and not concerning behavior. Until this week I went on a family reunion, and my cousins 23M and 12M humbled her. She was doing her normal toxic behavior. She was talking to them rudely and rolling her eyes at them as she does every day to people, and my 23-year-old cousin wasn't having it. He was like, "Listen, if you keep acting like this in the real world, you are going to get SL*PPED. And she needs to cut her attitude," and my sister was just rudely like, "Sure, okay." As if he was stupid. And my 12-year-old cousin added that he always feels like she judges him because she always glares at him. Obviously my parents couldn't deny this, and it was actually a really big wake-up call. They realized her behavior isn't just to immediate family and isn't normal to outsiders. And she would do this same behavior to people she aren't as close with, not just her parents and sister. Now my parents are telling me that I can't get her food and water and she needs to do some things for herself, and they are forcing her to be independent, and they've been actually disciplining her when she's toxic. She is not taking it well. She's been screaming at me even though it's not my fault and I haven't done anything. It's a bit late, but I'm glad they are finally putting their foot down and no longer looking at her as a perfect little angel who can do no wrong. I just hope they actually stick to it. Next story. Harassed by an entitled parent while shopping. So, I have to share this story because it's too ridiculous not to, and random Redditors may appreciate it. Today, I went to the local outlet mall to treat myself to some new shoes. I was sitting on the bench and putting my shoes back on after trying some new pairs on. I heard some ruckus and noticed this family parents and 3 kids walk by. The kids were acting out and being loud. They had taken the metal poles that staff used to get the shoes from the higher shelves and trying to poke their parents with them. The mom was laughing about it and egging them on. Typical boys will be boys stuff. As I was bending over to adjust my sandal, one of the kids swung the pole and nearly hit me in the face. I worked with kids with severe behavioral issues for years, so I was a little shaken but knew how to respond. I quietly, but firmly, said "excuse me" to the kid so he'd get that thing out of my face. The kid barely blinked and walked away. Then the mother started shouting at me. I'm not normally the type to stereotype based on appearance, but she was the typical boy mom you see on social media, face full of filler, dirty hair in a messy bun, orange tan, etc. She began screaming that her son wasn't even near me and that her kids weren't doing anything. I pointed out that her kid nearly hit me in the face with a metal pole. She turned to her kid and started baby talking him, saying, "You did nothing wrong, she's making it up," etc., etc. She turned to me again and screamed that I could have moved. I rolled my eyes at the absurdity and started gathering my stuff to pay. She continued to shout things like, "Get out, move along, you should have moved," etc. I decided that there was no point in being polite, so I calmly said, "And perhaps you should be a parent and watch your kids." She continued to shout at me as I walked away. As I was waiting to pay, I saw her lurking by the door with her 300-pound stroller and glaring at me. I started laughing, like she's gonna beat me down in a shoe outlet in broad daylight. That must have pissed her off, so she walked away. I assumed she was gone. But when I left the store, her creepy husband was standing outside and staring me down. He followed me around the mall for a minute, but I eventually lost him. As I mentioned earlier, I worked with kids with severe behavior issues, including in a juvenile justice setting. I left that field not because of the kids, but because of the parents. From what I understand, it's become exponentially worse over the years. Going out in public used to be enjoyable, but I feel like people not supervising their kids is starting to become a broader societal issue. It felt so freeing to finally call out crappy parenting. Next story. How dare we force her to drown her kids? I work at part-time at a sports center that has a pool. This mother walks up and buys tickets for herself and her 3 kids. She then asks for the swimming aids the kids had forgotten some days earlier. I go on, check it out, find the exact swimming aids and bring them to the counter. They have a tag that says Ms. Miller. All names are not real. Since we can only give objects back if the person can identify themselves, I ask her for her ID. On her ID, the name is Ms. Keller, so I ask her who she is. She says that she is a friend of Mrs. Miller and that Mrs. Miller gave her permission to pick them up and use them. I politely explain to her that we need some confirmation by her friend that they are okay to give her the swimming aids. We can't just hand them out to somebody without proof that the owner is okay with it. The mother, previously calm, suddenly switches into yelling. She demands to immediately speak to my manager. I try to handle it by myself first by once more politely explaining that it is for legal reasons. If she can maybe call her friend and the friend can confirm me on the phone that I can give them to her. But she gets more upset and calls my request ridiculous, so I ask my boss to come. When my boss arrived, the mother is in tears. My boss asks her what happens. It turns out she called some days earlier and asked if her friend's swimming aids had been found. When my colleague asked for the name of the owner, she gave her friend's name. My colleague then said that they can be picked up with an ID at the entrance, thinking that the caller was the owner, and that it would be clear that the owner can pick them up with ID. The mom proceeds to sob and asks us how we would feel if one of her kids drowned because we forced her to go swimming without swimming aids by not handing them out. In the end, she was able to call her friend, and the friend could confirm that we can give her the stuff. Next story. Mom lets her 7-year-old unlimited purchases on Amazon. This happened online in a parenting Facebook group I'm in. M, from what I can gather, lives with her mother and has a 7-year-old son entitled Kid. The grandma gave Ek a $50 bill for a haircut. When she asked for the $30 change after the haircut, Ek refused to give her the change because he believed it should all be his. When Grandma demanded he give her the change, his response was, "If I can't have it, no one can," and ripped it up. The mom and Grandma are both part of the parenting group I'm in on Facebook, and Grandma posted wanting to know what punishment would be appropriate. Then M chimes in the comments saying that everything is fine, she has it under control. His punishment is no Amazon orders for 30 days to match the $30 he destroyed. The rest of the parents in this group are scratching our heads wondering what on earth she's talking about. Then she explains her 7-year-old is allowed access to order whatever he wants off Amazon as long as it's age appropriate. He has no spending limit. If he sees something he wants, he just goes on Amazon and orders it under his grandma's account. This M had zero interest in getting feedback about how out of touch with reality that is, and then took to her Facebook wall to complain about the responses she got in the group to her mother's Facebook post. I took screenshots of some of M responses. I'll post them in the comments. Edited to add, I don't know how to add screenshots. Anyone know how to do that? Next story. My family is Bubar beyond comprehension, and it all goes back to my sister. The title is messed up. I just noticed and it won't let me fix it. It's supposed to be Fubar. For context, see prior posts about my sister in MI the Butthole. My sister is the cliché of the spoiled rich Beverly Hills, just not in Beverly Hills. What she wants she gets, and she will do whatever she has to do to get it without having to work for it. She has made it clear to me that she is the chosen one and I'm nothing. My mentality through this is I don't care and let her deal with the issues that our parent have. I'm good with my life. I have my degree and career. I'm good. I have had prior conversations with my mom regarding this, and she seemed to maybe take into consideration what I was saying and was maybe starting to work to try and fix some of the issues that my sister had. When it comes to my parents, really my family, I don't actively seek any of them out. I talk my parents once a month if I'm lucky. I let them call, and usually it's one parent who will relay any necessary information back to the other. We also live almost 3 hours from each other, So that's another reason why we don't talk. Apparently, the issues that my parents have created with my sister have gone one step further and are worse than they could ever be. Bad enough for my mother to drive 3 to visit me. Imagine my surprise to open the door to my house and see my mom on the other side. Into the conversation, she told me that she heard what I said about sister being useless and she was trying to slowly fix the problem. And she thought she was making headway until she found out her husband bought her a condo and was covering all her expenses. I asked her why this mattered to me. I reminded her that I was just an issue that had to be dealt with. Her and my dad's words that explain me and my existence. I reminded her that there was nothing that I could do to help them or fix the problem they created. For the first time in my life, my mom acknowledged this and acknowledged the way I was treated. While she didn't really apologize, she did say that I was treated pretty badly. She told me she was telling me this because it needed to get out in the open somewhere. I had to ask my mom some really hard questions, mostly because I'm trying in my own way to understand some of this. My parents' marriage for the last few years has mostly been roommates. Divorce for them is out of the question because of how complicated their finances and estate is. If they were to divorce, it would be friendly. They really don't love each other like they should. They'll love each other as friends, but marriage love is gone. With that being said, I asked my mom the question, "Have your or dad been sleeping around?" She immediately responded that she was not, and she truly felt that dad wasn't. I asked her if sister had something that she was holding over dad's head. She asked what that could be. I asked her if maybe dad and her were having some kind of unhealthy relationship and she was blackmailing dad to get what she wants or she would go public. I told her that up to this point she has had the normal spoiled kid things. Car, credit cards, vacation and trips. All of which she mom were also in on. This purchase was more than any spoiled child could ever in their life have. I reminded her that when I was 18 I was told that I was on my own and had to figure out life. That my sister at 25 still has no idea how to be an adult. And it makes me wonder what they are not telling me or what secrets they are keeping for my sister to have this much power over them. Again, my mom said that in her hearts of hears that this isn't the case, that they just messed up pretty bad. If this were and am I the butthole post, this is where I would be in butthole. I asked my mom what she expected me to do about this. What did she think she was going to gain by telling me all this and what she thinks I can do about it? She told me that she knows I can't do anything about it. She acknowledged that there isn't anything that I can do about this, that again she needs to just get this out in the open. I asked her if she confronted dad on these and she said that his excuse was that he was trying to help get her out of the house and that this was the only way he felt he could. He said that retirement for both of them is on the horizon and that they would make the money back once they liquidated and downsized. I told her that from their standpoint it would make sense, but dad forgot one main big issue, which is that she can't maintain herself. Mom said that this was an issue that she was trying to work with my sister about. She sat my sister down and told her that she needs to work at figuring out her future and was trying to encourage her to get her real estate license and go into the family business. By this point, I'm pissed, and I don't even know why. I told my mom that I don't want to know anything and that I just want to be done with this whole conversation. I told my mom that it makes no sense for her to tell me any of this. I offered to let her sleep in one of my guest rooms. She said that was okay, but she had reservations for a hotel. She left and I went to bed angry. This morning I had my aha moment. I can't do anything about it and there is nothing I want to do about it. This literally doesn't even concern me. All I can do is let it go in one ear and out the other. I have nothing to offer, and even if I did, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't. I'm not here for sympathy or advice. Comment if you would like. I guess just like my mom, I need to get this out in the open so it doesn't have to sit with me anymore. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share, and subscribe the channel. Our posts.